Hello everyone. So on this video I wanted to address something that I've been seeing a lot of currently, and that is a conspiracy theory. It's been going for a while actually. It's called Agenda 21. I have not really looked too far into it, so I admit to that. But my understanding is it is a conspiracy theory about population control. And my understanding is, within this conspiracy theory is issues addressing the gay or the trans agenda, and also, and I'm sorry for using air quotes, but I just find those terms to be just dumb, but also other means. Now the thing is, I'll be honest about myself and my stance when it comes to bringing children into the world. For as long as I can remember, I have never wanted children. Reason being, I was in aviation, or I wanted to be in aviation. I still am, but I wanted to be a cargo transport pilot. And if I impregnated a girl in high school, or if I had a child, I could pretty much kiss that career bye-bye, or there'd be a lot of problems. I have always felt that a parent should be, that the parents, not just a parent, the parents should be home to take care of their child. I have always felt that a child is a dedication, is a commitment, and that's not a commitment I wanted to make. Fortunately, my girlfriend is of the same mind. That said, I think in this day and age also it is really irresponsible to bring a child into the world that you only intend to support until they are 18. I think this is an old world idea. It is an old world idea that really needs to go away. Because nowadays, offspring, I'm not going to say children, because you know, when they grow up they're no longer children, they're adults, so they're offspring. They have a lot more expenses than previous generations. They have housing, they have insurance, which a lot of generations didn't have to pay for it, especially at the rate that we're paying now. They have cell phone bills. Now, as much as you want to say that's a luxury, no, it's not. For a lot of people, it's a necessity. But also, and this is the big one, they have college. Now, we're starting to understand that the need for college isn't all that much. Not as much as we were crammed down. I was told when I was trying to get into aviation, I was told by my mother that I couldn't do that until I had a 4-year college degree, because nobody would hire me as a pilot if I didn't have a 4-year college degree. That was back in time, and it's, for all I know, it was real. But one thing that she said that got me was, it didn't matter what the degree was in. It could be in basket weaving. You just have to have a 4-year college degree. Well, as you all know, 4-year college degrees aren't really 4-year college degrees anymore. They're longer and far more expensive. And a lot of people are getting screwed by this. Now, getting back to my original point, I do think that, well, first of all, when a child is brought into the world, that child had no choice being brought into this world. Zero. That was the decision of the mother and the father, of the two people that engaged in the act with no protection, with no protection, or irresponsibly, and had a child. Now, of course, there is the choice of abortion, but that doesn't work for some people, and understandably so. However, when the child is brought into the world, they don't have the choice in the matter. They're just there. And to bring a child into the world thinking that, oh well, I only have to raise them till the age of 18. I hope they're out of the house by then. That's a fucked up attitude. That's always been a fucked up attitude. For a while there, kids were just going into the military, the boys, you know. Anyways, getting back to Agenda 21. I do not understand this fear of reducing the rate of population growth. I honestly don't. Because we really don't need as many humans on this planet as we have. Hell, the planet doesn't need humans. We're here. You know? And what I hear people saying is, oh, there's plenty of land for people to occupy. It's like, why do we have to occupy every square inch of this fucking planet? You know, I mean, there is a Star Trek episode that deals with this very topic, where they cured every disease, they cured every ailment, and people didn't die, and they just kept reproducing and reproducing. And then the outside world of this closed off area, of this area that the Enterprise crew are at, is just people bucking up against one another. I forget what the episode is, but if you can find it, it's really good. I might find it and put it in the links if I remember. But yeah, so this this situation, or this Agenda 21, I mean, of course, it's got a dark and evil sound to it, Agenda 21. And it's like, well, okay. You were talking about reducing population growth. And the funny thing is, reducing population growth naturally. In other words, not reducing population by war, not reducing population by disease, not reducing population by other unnatural means, whatever those are. We're talking about reducing population by natural means, by people dying out and not being replaced. This is where the homosexual agenda and the trans agenda comes in. Homosexuals don't have children, or so these people who come up with this theory think. And they don't. If they are, you know, if two males stay together and they only have sex with males, or they have protected sex with females, then they're bi, which is fine. They're not going to have kids. They're not going to bring another life into the world. Asexuals. That's the other one. Asexuals. I'm partially asexual, by the way. I'm not driven by sex. I am driven by romance and being together with my girlfriend. But sex is not a driving factor in my life, really never has been. And I know there's people out there that are the same. It's just never appealed to me, to be honest. There were a lot of factors, I'm sure, that contributed to it, like people utterly ruining their lives by getting a girl pregnant, or the girl getting pregnant. I had some female friends at school that ended up being pregnant, and with jerks, with total pieces of shit. Others got involved with a guy who was decent, but most of the time they're just bad guys. Teenage pregnancies was a problem at my school, and that was a turnoff also to just screwing everything, because these guys, some of them used protection and they had oopsies. Getting back to the original point, Agenda 21 and how the homosexual lobby or homosexual agenda and the trans agenda is trying to kill off humans. Okay, first of all, you're not going to kill off all the humans. People are going to screw and have kids no matter what. That's just how it is. It's called nature, and it works. Now, right now, I've always thought this about homosexuals, asexuals, and that is, it's a form of population control. It's a form of reducing the rate at which people are produced. You know, there are people who are driven by sex, absolutely driven by sex. And those people have to have some kind of outlet. So, they find a guy. There's no child being born. Back in the day, people had to reproduce a lot. There had to be a lot of children per couple. Reason? Because kids would die. I mean, some would die within the first year of their life. Others would die due to accidents because the world wasn't as safe as it is now, even though it's not all that safe. It was worse, you know. And people needed workers for their farms. Let's not play around. Back then, children were labor. Now, when I say back then, I'm talking like 1910, 1800s, even before then. So that's why people had a lot of children. Nowadays, those reasons don't exist. Not as much as they did. So there is no reason for a family to have 5 kids. Especially if that family cannot support those children. And that's the big bugaboo for me, is when people bring a child into the world knowing they won't be able to support it and demand that everybody else takes care of their child. See, again, the world didn't have the choice in the matter either. The population didn't have the choice either. It was the 2 individuals that got together, had the act, and the child was created or conceived. Ah, sorry, I have a hair in my nose. But that's just my stance on this whole Agenda 21. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. I'm going to learn a bit more about it. From what I've heard, it's absurd. It's just like, okay, what are you freaking out about? Reducing in population? Look, we are screwing this world up. Okay? Now, I'm not one of those who thinks we're going to destroy the world. No, the world is going to destroy us. The world will be just fine. We will be going away. This is something that George Carlin says in one of his things. And he's right. You know, we're not going to destroy the earth. The earth is going to destroy us. And after we're destroyed, we'll just be a small little unpleasant speck for the planet. You know, we have done so much destruction to this planet. We have done so much harm to this planet. You know, and anyone who says that we haven't is just living a pipe dream. We have. You know, we're the only creature that shits on our own bed, for crying out loud. And in ways we can't help it nowadays. You know, I'm a consumerist just like everybody else. For me to not be doing that, it's impossible in this world the way it is. It's kind of hard. So, give some thought about it. Put your comments in the notes below. And I will be making another video maybe in a week or maybe a month. I'm sorry for being inconsistent. It's just how I do things. And the opportunity does present itself. And like with this video, I was just sitting at my computer and it popped in my head. And so I just threw on some makeup and set up the camera, and there we go. So, have a good day and leave comments. Bye-bye.